Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been paying attention to the digital landscape lately, you know AI is completely reshaping how we create. But today, we're looking at source material that moves way past basic chatbots and simple prompts. We're going to explore how to build a fully automated end-to-end AI-driven YouTube pipeline right on your local computer. Let's get into it.
Here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, the creator burnout trap. 2, enter Claude Code automation. 3, skills, agents, and workflows. 4, the human gate system. And finally, number 5, YouTube's 2026 AI rules. Kicking things off with Section 1, the creator burnout trap, the limits of manual content creation. Let's be real for a second. Think about your own workflow right now. Imagine getting to Friday. You started the week planning 2 or 3 really high-quality uploads, but now it's the end of the week. You've got half-written scripts just sitting in a folder, thumbnails that are totally stuck in drafts, and the stuff that actually did go out, well, it probably wasn't your best work. You aren't stuck because you lack ideas, right? You're stuck because the sheer mechanics of creating all this content manually just takes way too much time. Okay, let's dive into this. To try and speed things up, you probably subscribe to a scriptwriter, an image generator, maybe an SEO tool, and a video editor. You end up jumping between 5 different tabs like some frantic orchestra conductor. As our sources point out, and this is such a great quote, you stack subscriptions thinking you're being thorough when really you're just being expensive. Your workflow is completely fragmented. So let's fix that. Section 2. Enter Claude Code automation, centralizing your production. 5 hours. Literally just 5 hours. That is the stark contrast between the traditional, agonizing manual grind and actually building a centralized system. In the time it takes to grab a coffee and a sandwich, you can build an automated Claude Code pipeline that is going to save you days of future work every single week. That compounding time savings, that's the real win here. And this brilliantly illustrates how it works. Instead of jumping between a dozen tabs, imagine just dropping a single prompt into your terminal. Boom. That prompt triggers a sequential assembly line, idea research, script drafting, voice and visual generation, video editing, and finally prepping the YouTube publishing metadata. It's a true end-to-end production pipeline. So you're probably wondering, how does Claude actually do this outside of a standard chat window? Well, the secret sauce here is MCP connectors, the Model Context Protocol. Basically, MCPs give Claude the superpower to interact with other software. By adding these connectors to your settings, Claude can suddenly generate media using Higgsfield or Nano Banana, pull live keyword data from Data for SEO, check YouTube analytics via vidIQ, and organize the whole shebang in your Notion database. It transforms from a simple chat window into a full production team, working right inside your code editor. Moving right along to Section 3, Skills, Agents, and Workflows, the Anatomy of AI Automation. Let's start with a skill. Think of a skill as an instruction manual that gives the AI a very specific ability it doesn't already have. One of our sources perfectly explained it like this. It's like handing a chef a recipe for fish and chips. The chef already knows how to cook, right? But the recipe tells them exactly how to execute this specific dish. In our pipeline, a skill tells Claude exactly how to perform one focused job, like, say, designing a highly clickable thumbnail that matches your exact brand guidelines. So the crucial point is, while a skill is a single recipe, an agent is the system that runs multiple skills together, often on a set schedule, to achieve a much bigger, more complex goal. For example, you can actually program a research agent to wake up every Monday and Friday at 8 a.m., use your research skills to scrape trending YouTube and Instagram data, and then email you a curated list of validated video ideas before you've even opened your laptop for the day. Pretty incredible, right? And when you look at the open source repositories available, you can actually load pre-built skills directly into your environment. You literally just type a command like /YouTube script, and it drafts a retention engineered script packed with hooks and calls to action. Or you type /YouTube metadata to get a copy-paste ready package of titles, tags, and descriptions. It basically acts as a highly specialized YouTube growth consultant that lives directly inside your code editor.
Which brings us to Section 4. The human gate system, why automation absolutely needs quality control.
Let's move to and see how this builds a much better workflow. We really have to weigh the risky old way of 100% full automation, where you're just publishing blind and risking platform penalties for low quality, against the new way of using human gates. These gates ensure you are actually reviewing outputs, manually polishing the final product, and keeping your standards incredibly high. Honestly, the best way to build these gates is with a Notion Kanban board. The AI quietly moves cards through your pipeline, but here's the magic part. It stops at each stage. It drops a researched idea in the hub. You review and approve it. It writes a script draft. You manually tweak it, and then you drag it to approved. Only then does the agent fire off to create the voiceover. Notion acts as the perfect human gate to ensure the AI's work actually meets your standards before it advances to the next step. And perhaps the most mind-blowing part of this entire setup is the cost. The engine powering this entire automated multi-agent pipeline, which is the Claude Pro plan, costs just $17 a month. Seriously? When you combine that with a free code editor like Visual Studio Code and the free tier of those connectors, you are essentially replacing hundreds of dollars of single-purpose SaaS tools for less than a basic gym membership.
All right, Section 5. YouTube's 2026 AI rules, staying compliant and monetized. The overarching 2026 golden rule from YouTube is simply this. You must label content that possesses deceptive realism. Now, to be very clear here, impartially speaking, YouTube does not penalize you just for using AI. The policy is strictly targeting content that could realistically mislead a real person into thinking something happened in the real world when it actually didn't.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how clearly the rules draw the line. You absolutely must disclose if you use AI voice clones of real people or if you generate fake but realistic footage of real-world events. However, you do not need to disclose standard production assistance. If AI writes your scripts, generates your thumbnails, or color grades your footage, no disclosure is needed at all. It's all about deceptive reality, not penalizing standard production tools. And complying with this rule takes exactly 60 seconds. When you're ready to publish, you just open YouTube Studio, go to Video Details, scroll down to the Attributes section, find the AI use prompt, and select Yes. That's literally it. A simple label is applied, it provides transparency for your viewers, and most importantly, it protects your automated channel from being flagged or demonetized.
As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a powerful reminder directly from our sources. Would you be proud to put this out under your name? If the answer is no, you don't have an automation problem, you have a standards problem. Automation is simply a tool to scale your effort and save you time. It is never, ever an excuse to lower your baseline standards for quality.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. By utilizing Claude Code, MCP connectors, and those all-important human gates, you are buying back days of your life every single month. So with AI running the busy work of your pipeline, what will you build with your reclaimed time? Will you launch a second channel? Maybe dive deeper into your creative strategy? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely can't wait to see the systems you build